What's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jake and It Easy. My name's Mitch. Today I'm going to show you guys how to change oil. Come on over here. This is the very bare necessities what you need for an oil change. You got your catch can. That's your oil filter wrench. And for me personally, I'm using a 15 millimeter. This is one of the more simple jobs you could do. I just want to go ahead and document this so maybe some kid learning how to change his own oil for the first time can watch this video. So let's get going. Okay guys, so your first step, there's a drain plug underneath. You're gonna go ahead and loosen that, and I'm gonna take you under there and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Make sure you have your catch can ready because you will spill oil on your driveway. Additionally, let the car cool down before you go ahead and do this. You can burn yourself. Obviously oil is running in the engine and it can get up to 210 degrees. So you don't wanna go ahead and burn yourself. So if you've driven the car even to go get the oil, let it cool down for about an hour or so and then get to work. So the first step is go ahead and get under the engine. Right here is your oil filter, and there's your oil pan. That's where we're gonna drain the oil from. Go ahead, put the screw on, and you're gonna just loosen this up. Simple as that. This is how you drain your oil. It's very simple. Once this is all drained out, I'll come back to you. As you can see down here, I'm face to face with the exhaust. So the exhaust runs all the way around. This is why you let this cool down. I could go ahead and touch this. Last thing you want to do is burn your face on an exhaust. Next step, your oil filter is going to come off. Now, depending on who installed it last, it could be torqued down heavily. I tend to put mine on a little too tight sometimes, which I don't know why I do it to myself. So I went ahead and I bought a set of pliers for the job. And they will bend the oil filter. Don't panic, it's not that big of a deal. If it bends, obviously because it's the old ones coming off, yeah, you're doing damage to it, but I mean, the worst case scenario I've had to do is punch a hole in oil filter with a screwdriver to actually get it off. Typically when you get your oil changed at a dealership, they are gonna tighten it down to, I guess, I wouldn't say it's to deter you from changing your own oil, but it's not, you're not gonna wanna change your own oil. You know, because you're gonna get nervous, you're gonna think you're gonna ruin the car or something of that nature, and guarantees they're gonna get more work from you. And I could touch the exhaust right now. You've seen that. This oil is still hot to touch. So this is why you let your car cool down. All right, your next step. This is a metallic, it's magnetic. So you're checking for any metal shavings that are on here. Easy part of the job, but you definitely want to make sure you're observing. It's oil analysis. Make sure you're not throwing too many metal chips or shards. You're gonna get some onesie twosies, but nothing too crazy. Then you're gonna go ahead and clean this off, and you're good to go. Make sure your threads are good. They sell these at the AutoZone store. So if your threads are bad, you don't want to strip it in there, obviously. So I personally use full synthetic. Now you have to work your way into full synthetic. If your car doesn't come with it originally, if you're just using regular motor oil, don't switch right over. I had a lot of oil burning off in this truck, and it was from switching over to synthetic. Just because it ran regular oil. The tolerances are different with regular oil compared to synthetic. I have my new oil filter. I change my oil about every 5,000 miles. I go the full length that the car tells you to, and then I go about another 25% of the oil life. Mainly because the technology that's coming out with the oils nowadays compared to the age of the truck. All right, so a very important step so that you don't get a dry start for your engine is to go ahead and take your oil filter, and you're going to take the plastic right off, and you have to add, some filters can take up to a quart, but you're going to want to go ahead and throw some oil in your filter before you install it in the vehicle. If you don't, like I said, you're going to get a dry start. You know, that's and to explain it simply, the oil has to fill this filter up before it can start running its way through the oil pump. And obviously you can see I've already filled it, but it's still got bubbles. And then That's what I'm looking for. So now when I start this truck for the first time, I'm gonna take oil, and you see this little ring? That's your gasket. You wanna go ahead and lubricate that gasket. So you have your oil filter filled, so the first start will not be dry. And I still have my cap that I've cleaned and inspected for metal shavings. And now we're gonna go install it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and install the drain plug. Drain plug should go in. This is very important, very, very important. Make sure you can tighten your drain plug down by hand before you put a wrench anywhere near it. If you cross thread this bolt, you're gonna have the biggest pain in the butt in the future. Yeah, you'll get it on now, but if you cross thread that bolt, your life's not gonna be fun. Next, we're gonna take the oil filter that we pre-filled with oil, and this the same. Don't go ahead and put any specialized tools for tightening this down until you're sure that the threads are on. And you should be able to let go. 2 or 3 turns, nice and simple. It should go right on. Now, I personally don't put too much torque on my oil filter, mainly because I want to be able to take it off without pulling my hair out the next go around. But I'm going to get all this tightened down. There should be a torque set for this bolt. I don't necessarily follow it. I'm not saying not to follow standards. What I'm saying is I go until I feel comfortable, and then I go from there. I'm not going to overly tighten this down to the point where I have to get a breaker bar to get this off. I would assume the torque's probably only about 115 inch-pounds, so I would go around that range. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down, and I'll bring you back up top. But these two, this is very important. Make sure these two are completely installed and tightened down before you add oil to your vehicle. We got the oil drained. This is a very important part of this oil change. The old oil, do not dispose of this in your trash can. Do not dump it in the grass. Do not do anything crazy. AutoZone will take your oil and they will dispose of it for free. For $7, you can go get a brand new oil recycling bin, or you can just use your old oil. That's the oil I changed last time. 5 quarts in, 5 quarts out. Make sure you're recycling your oil so we're not destroying this planet. Okay, here's the fun part. It's the part everybody enjoys. This is where you add the oil. So as you can see,
you fix your car?
And yes, Bitchy, I'm fixing my car. My cap doesn't like to come off too easily. This is your oil. That's the indicator for oil. If you get this light on your dashboard, that means you're low on oil. Or low on oil pressure as well. That's a pretty bad thing. So that's your oil. This is where it goes. Go ahead and use a funnel. It's always good practice to clean out your funnel before you're running essential fluids through it. Just because I don't want to get the smell of burning oil all over the car, I like to use a funnel. It's simpler for me. You're going to go ahead and start pouring in. Now, you have to consult your owner's manual or Google to see how many quarts of oil that your vehicle can hold. This truck particular holds 5 quarts. However, the exact same vehicle, my 2016 Silverado, holds 8 quarts. So it's very important not to underfill or overfill your vehicle. These are closed systems. You will start pushing. If you put too much oil in a vehicle, you'll push oil through the cylinders. There's only little rings that stop the oil from going through the cylinders. Now, if you overfill it, you're going to have a problem. Underfilling, you're going to have burning, overheating. You're going to destroy the motor. Overfilling, you're going to destroy the motor. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you. This is not rocket science. Just use what you're recommended. I Googled this. Chevy Silverado 5.3 oil capacity. Bingo. So I've got the oil added. I'm going to let it sit and go down through the engine and fall into the oil pan. And then the most important part is you're going to check your own work. You're going to quality assurance. You're going to start the car. You're going to go under it. I'm not going to show you that, but start the car, go under it, make sure there's no leaks, because obviously this is at 40 PSI. And you'll make sure that you're not leaking oil. If you are leaking oil, go ahead and just tighten everything back down. Start the car back up and go from there. Other than that, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I know this is simple. Not everybody knows how to do this though. Remember, we all started somewhere. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I told you I'm going to give you very basic videos on how to do stuff around the house. So thanks for joining Jaking It Easy, and my son Mitchie and my daughter Michaela have made sure they made their cameo. Say bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.